Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be reviewing The Painted Desert by Andrew Osenga. I think I'm saying his last name right. This is actually a subscriber request, so thank you to KeeganMet257 for sending this my way. If you have an album you want me to listen to, just drop it in the comments, or sometimes I put up a post here. This is the first time I've listened to Andrew's music, and I've seen this album art several times and thought about listening to it, but I just needed that extra nudge. And it looks like Andrew has done a lot of writing and collaboration. Specifically, some of y'all might know that he's worked with Andrew Peterson, and recently he's been doing anchor hymns. So what do I think of this album? Well, we're going to go through each song because I've had people asking for me to go through more than just like the first few tracks, even though I always listen to the whole album. The album opens with the song Beautiful Places, and right away it reminds me of Rich Mullins, just kind of in the way he sings it, maybe his vocal styling a little bit too. But there's also an element of it that reminds me of the band The War on Drugs. It's a really beautiful, contemplative song, a great opener. The Year of Locust brings in a really nice double-tracked vocal, kind of this building ambience and this low rumble that's going through it. It's just a really great build to this song. Lyrically, it's a beautiful song as well, just talking about aching for Eden and the Year of the Locust being taken away. It's just kind of a very poetic and beautiful sounding song. The third track, Worry, opens with some nice electric guitars and maybe a 12-string if I'm hearing it correctly. And we're still in that very ambient sounding, very low percussion style music. Again, lyrically beautiful, worry robbing us of life and we hide in our busyness to avoid it. Just a good topic. That then drops into a great piano outro. Track 4 really stuck out to me though, the song Marjorie. I feel like I've heard it before, I'm not completely sure, but what can I say? It's beautiful. It's a wonderful song. To me, this is my favorite song on the album. Storytelling lyrics 101, staying in that nice folk ambient pocket that Andrew has been in so far in the album. Once again, very simple percussion. Most of the percussion is kind of carried through the picking patterns and the bass. That leads into the song Carrie. Not that different in production style itself, which might be my one complaint as I started making it more through the album, is that the songs were starting to blend together a little bit musically, but definitely not lyrically. The song Carrie is a really sad song about a guy who was abused by his father and is talking to Andrew, and Andrew's kind of trying to defend God to him, but it has a good turnaround to it if you've never heard the song. The track Still Waters builds on the same pattern of the album. We don't find a production change, but it's based on the Psalms. New Year's Daybreak is a nice shift. It starts super cheery, which is kind of different than the rest of this album had started. It's got these beautiful mellow flutes, this acoustic guitar pattern going through it. It's a beautiful instrumental track. I added it to a playlist pretty quickly that I just kind of listened to relax. Then we head right back into the track The Rain, which again kind of just sits in that pocket that he's been in this whole album. My Bittersweet Old Friend, then to Mercy, then to Give Up. We find very similar production choices and styles, which is good for an album. You want an album to have, a common thread all the way through it. The only problem and maybe complaint I would have about it is that it's hard to tell the songs apart if you're not paying attention to the lyrics, which makes this an overall really enjoyable album unless you don't listen to the lyrics. Then you might get a little lost in the sauce, as they say, and just kind of sit thinking, wait, was that the song I liked before, or was it the next track? Even when I was thinking about songs to show my wife, I couldn't remember which one was which. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's really all dependent on what you're looking for. And this is still a really, really great album with really unbelievable lyricism. And it's also an album that you may be looking for specifically. For me, I would listen to this if I'm wanting to feel a little more peaceful and laid back, or maybe I put it on in the background when friends are over or something like that. It's just very chill, good driving music, good sitting in the living room, hanging out. I'm in my living room right now because it's raining outside and it's hot, and so is my studio. Anyway, I give it a 7.3 out of 10. Definitely go check it out. Speaking of going and checking something out, I've got vinyls of my previous project, Stories, that came out a few months ago. If you're a fan of Andrew's stuff, then you might be a fan of what I've got here. You can pick up a vinyl in the link below, or if you just want to listen to it on Spotify, that's also cool. And I'm working on some new music as well. I've got one new song called The Feeling that's already out to stream.